Well, now, as the U.S. economy flirts with recession, many Americans are concerned about keeping their jobs. Those are just some of them.
That's right. Those working in industries that could be particularly vulnerable to job cuts, like construction, manufacturing. You may want to take some steps to help ensure that the future of your career. Brad Karsh is president of JobBound, a job prep service. He joins us now. Brad, thanks for coming back. We want to talk about recession-proofing your career, and there are some areas when you look at these lists of job loss that look particularly vulnerable.
Well, let's take a look at this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Manufacturing jobs, Brad, we were looking at this. I've got a map we can show you that in 2007, only 6 states in the United States actually added manufacturing jobs. And they're not the ones you'd think they'd be. I mean, we've got Washington, Nevada, Utah, Nebraska, Kansas, and Louisiana. We're not seeing growth in manufacturing jobs.
Absolutely. And it's tough for those people who are working in the industry because they're going to have to come up with some other options if they want to stay gainfully employed.
What are their options? I mean, I think it's changing so quickly in the construction and the manufacturing sectors. It's changing much more quickly than people
can change
and retrain and move and uproot their lives to find new jobs in new geographic locations.
Yeah, and it's never easy. So there are a couple things that people can do. And one is you have to think about this. The things I'm going to talk about require some flexibility. They might require taking a pay cut. But if you want to stay related to that industry, there's some things you can do. So for manufacturing, for instance, if a lot of the jobs are going overseas, you know, maybe you consider moving overseas. I know that's not an option for everyone, but certainly some people can consider that. Another thing to do is to consider staying here, but instead of working in the actual production of the product, now talk about the repair of the product. So as more and more, it's not like the absolute number of things that are manufactured is going down. It's just that the jobs are leaving this country. There's still the need here to repair those. If you were working on creating those for so many years, now you can help repair it conceivably.
I knew an auto worker who was laid off at Ford who became a paint guy. Like he used to do paint, so then he opened up a paint shop.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, that sort of thing.
But I think a lot of people would say, you know, moving overseas, especially if you're talking about, you know, huge Chinese factories taking over for some parts of the industry here. I mean, it's really not feasible to move to Guangdong province and get 30 cents an hour, I don't think.
What about the other area, Brad, that we're seeing a lot of job losses in, and that is construction?
Construction, yeah, that's tough. New home sales, as we all know, are going down. But the fact of the matter is, when new home sales go down, remodeling goes up. People are staying in their homes longer. They have more need for repair. They have more need to spruce things up. So if you work for one of those big companies, let's say a Toll Brothers, if you will, now consider moving into remodeling. There aren't many huge companies a la Toll Brothers, but there are a lot more independent contractors. This may be a time to start out on your own, or it may be time to work for a small business doing some remodeling things.
Brad, let me ask you.
Another thing to consider.
Go ahead.
Sure. No, another thing to consider is sales. Again, Home Depot, looking for salespeople. Industries like that tend to go up when new home sales go down, and the other option is to sell the products that, in essence, you were using. You have an insider's point of view on that stuff. You used the drill bits for so many years. Now you can sell the drill bits.
Brad Karsh, good to see you. Thank you so much for being with us. Brad Karsh is president and founder of JobBound. And to your point, by the way, about how Brad was saying there aren't a lot of options if you're manufacturing except moving overseas, it should be noted that's how grim that situation is. There are 6 states where there were manufacturing jobs increased in 2007. So if you are holding out for the return of manufacturing jobs in America, I wouldn't hold my breath. Moving to another country almost seems more practical.
And well, it makes all these big picture issues you got to think about too. Education that much more important. That means you got to go and you have to be trained for something. A lot of people are talking about plumbing jobs, locksmith jobs like that, where you can get an apprenticeship or some kind of certification, and you can have a good career. But things are definitely changing out there in this economy. And you know, it's tough to get a student loan right now because of the credit crunch. So how are you supposed to go? I don't know.
We'll try and keep you posted on the whole thing. We're going to take a quick